Welcome to the Tech M&A Podcast. Presented by the Corum Group. Welcome to the Tech M&A Podcast. Here we dive into the strategies, challenges, and candid stories of tech entrepreneurs who have successfully sold their companies. Today we sit down with Brian Sweat, CEO of Alterity Inc., the tech company that created the inventory management software, Activate, who was acquired in August of 2023. Hi Brian, thanks for talking with me today. Can you introduce yourself a little further and give us some more insight into Alterity?
My name is Brian Sweat, and my company Alterity is the creators of Activate inventory software. And we've been in business for over 20 years, creating software for small businesses to better manage their inventory with QuickBooks. And I've been running the company for the last 10 years, pretty much running the business on my own. And we've recently been through an acquisition.
What was your motivation for going through the M&A process?
As most owners of software companies, you're bombarded with opportunities to sell or to take on investors. And for many years, I went on hiatus. I actually was not looking to sell. And, at a point in your career, you're given a choice of maturity, which we were a mature company. And we decided if we don't make any changes, what's going to happen in the company in the next, 2 to 3 years? And it was unclear. And so, I was looking for opportunities. An opportunity presented itself. Actually, numerous opportunities presented themselves. And we finally found one that was a really good strategic fit, and it just felt right. And I think the other ones didn't. So when that was presented to me, I went to my team and my partner, and we made the decision to go ahead and pursue the acquisition.
How did you learn about Corum?
So I first learned about Corum over 10 years ago, actually. We were in Dallas, Texas, and we found there was a session called Selling Up and Selling Out. And it was a seminar that someone had recommended to me. So we attended this session in Dallas and really learned not just about the process of looking for an acquirer and looking to sell your business, but we also met the Corum Group. And everybody I met in the team was really impressive and had gone through this before. So I felt like I was with peers, and the people in the room, the other CEOs of these other software companies, were just like me. And so I felt less alone, and I felt like maybe this is something I could look into. Now, that was 10 years ago. So we've had a long relationship, and I wasn't quite ready. And then when I eventually was ready, Corum was there for me.
That actually can be quite a common issue with CEOs, where they delay their exit for so long simply because they're looking for the absolute perfect fit. And because they don't find that perfection, they opt to not seek out an exit at all. What was the pivot point for you?
There is no perfect fit in life, right? In business. So, and there was a time when I thought I could do this on my own. I can keep growing the company. I can double revenue over so many years, but there's so much risk in doing it alone. And that was the time when I really said, maybe we should look in an acquisition and try to find a strategic deal and some opportunity where, together we could do better than just alone. And so it wasn't a perfect deal. I wasn't looking for perfection. I was just looking for progress. I just wanted to find something that could be better, and not just for me, not just financially or my way of life or my lifestyle, but also better for my team. So my employees, when you work in a small business, and we were about 30 people, there's just not as many opportunities for your employees. And what were their future careers going to be? Well, ultimately, they would have to leave the business unless we joined a larger company or had new opportunities. And M&A was not my initial strategy, but when it was proposed to me, we found a really good fit.
Talk us through a bit on the integration front. How did you ensure your employees were taken care of?
As CEO of a small software company, growing company, but still small, there's a lot of responsibility. So you have responsibility for shareholders if you have them, but also responsibility for your employees and your staff and making sure they have fulfilling careers. And, there's a lot you can do for company culture. And we had a great company culture, but career growth was just not something you really get in a small business. So I think looking for an opportunity like this. And when Corum found numerous opportunities, and some of them were really exciting, some of them were great, some of them were structured differently. But one of the key things I was looking for was an opportunity that would financially make sense for myself and my co-founder and the other shareholders, but then also something that would be good for the employees. And I'm proud to say that we've lost nobody. Nobody quit after the acquisition. So everybody's on board. And I think some people are really excited about their future growth within the new organization.
Let's dive further into your process personally. What surprised you most about the process?
So when I started this process with Corum, I didn't really know what to expect. So I'm a young CEO. I'm 45 years old right now, and I didn't really know what to expect. I probably thought it was going to be easier, and I never thought I would go at it alone because I didn't know what I was doing. I knew we had to hire a lawyer. I knew I had to have a broker, somebody who knows the deal making part of it. But I really didn't realize how much work that Corum would do on my behalf. So, in my opinion, I was able to really still kind of focus on running my business. Sure, there's a lot of work for due diligence. There's a lot of Excel work and getting financial data to the buyer, but Corum really did most of the negotiating on my behalf. And I'm a good salesman. I could sell the company, but I don't think I could sell it for the best price and get a great deal. And that's where really Corum came in. And I really do think I underestimated that. So it was a very nice surprise, and it was a really great experience.
What lessons did you learn that you'd want other CEOs to know before they begin considering their process?
So one of the key lessons that I would share with anybody that's in my shoes, that's if you're a CEO of a small company or a medium-sized business, you're bombarded by opportunities. So my inbox was full, and there were times that I thought, did Corum publish this? Did they go out and find these people? But no, you're targeted constantly by private equity groups, by individual investors, search funds, things like that. And the nice thing about working with a company like Corum is they will take on all that responsibility, and they can really filter the signal from the noise. And so many of those are junk. They really are junk. It's a lot of noise. And Corum brought to me only really the best opportunities. So by vetting these companies before they're ever introduced to me, we did have a number of opportunities, but all of them were good in some ways. Now, none of them were until I found the one that was the best fit. I didn't choose the earlier ones. I did go through 3 significant opportunities, and I don't have regrets, but they would have been interesting. They were all structured differently, and the outcomes would have been different, but they were all great proposals. And so my advice is don't reach out to those people. Don't respond to those opportunities yourself. Get someone like Corum to do it for you and just take that stress off, because there are too many opportunities and you don't have the experience in working with these different buyers, and Corum does.
Now that you're on the other side, how did selling your business improve your life?
So one of the goals in selling my business, right, is to improve my life or my lifestyle. And I think I had a pretty good lifestyle before selling, but it was really the amount of stress and the responsibility that, maybe it's not as fun anymore. And I think that's the key thing, is that I really enjoy the product. I enjoy the business. I enjoy the customers and the employees. But it wasn't, I didn't see that I could make a big impact in the future. And so selling my business really has relieved a little bit of that stress. And I've actually gone back to focusing more on the fun parts of the business. And one of the best parts of this is I'm not having to be the CFO and the head of sales and the CEO and work with a tax accountant at the end of the year. I take off the stuff that I don't want to do. And now I'm able to just kind of find out, where I can be most effective in the business and not have the responsibility for everything. And that's been the biggest change in my life. And I'm still in that process. I'm not done yet, but over the next few months, I think it's going to get a lot better. Mm-hmm. And running a business is exciting. It's fun to learn about, structuring the best business model and managing cash flows and profits and working with accountants to get, creative. And so you go through all of these processes in running a sales team and a marketing. All of that was a great learning, very great learning experiences. But it's ultimately, I don't want to do everything. So by finding a buyer who will do some of that, and maybe not all, I'm still going to be doing some of the things, but it's a lot less stressful and it's fun. So I'm just going to stay around to do the fun parts. And if it doesn't get fun, if I lose that fun, I can leave now. And I don't have the responsibility to every single employee to be there for them and to make sure that we're growing the business, to make payroll and give them raises. That's not my responsibility anymore. And that feels great to not have that responsibility to everything and everyone.
Was there anything that you found unexpected about working with Corum?
One of the biggest surprises, if you ask me about working with Corum, I mostly worked with, my representative, and he's been fantastic. I had a great relationship, but to me, he was Corum. So I did attend the Selling Up, Selling Out seminar, and everybody there was fantastic. But in general, I worked with really two guys at Corum, and they were both fantastic. But coming down here to Loretto and celebrating with the entire, a big part of the Corum group has been fantastic because everybody's just amazing. And I'm really excited to hear the other stories from the other selling CEOs. And, some of them are already, talking about their next business. And I actually hope to become a repeat Corum customer. So I told my wife last night, we need to build the next software company and hopefully we'll exit with Corum. And that actually sounds exciting. I thought I would never say that 6 months ago when we were selling the business. I would never think that I was going to do this all over again, but it's such a great experience working with you guys. And this celebration, and which is the perfect term for it, has just been amazing.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for tuning in to the Tech M&A Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with your friends, colleagues, and fellow entrepreneurs. We release new episodes every 2 weeks, so make sure to subscribe and stay up to date on our latest interviews and tech M&A research. And while you're there, go ahead and drop us a rate and review. And if you have any suggestions or topics you'd like us to cover, please reach out to us on social media or email us at info@corumgroup.com. Join us again next time for more inspirational stories and practical tips from tech founders who have successfully navigated the exits of their companies.